抱着沙发，睡眼昏花，凌乱头发，却渴望像电影主角一样潇洒。屋檐脚下排着乌鸦，密密麻麻，被压抑的情绪不知如何表达。
Here he uses a very beautiful, heady, mixed voice. Mix can have different colors and shades. It can be chesty. A lot of people call that belting. And here he's using a heady mix, and he is controlling the amount of air that he uses with such excellence. I really like it because a lot of people, when they're using a heady mix, they couldn't help but let air escape through their vocal cords. That is a beautiful breathy sound too, but here he controls how much air he uses. For example, let's go back.
屋檐脚下排着乌鸦，密密麻麻。
Here he's more breathy.
被压抑的情绪不知。
Here he's using less breath, and I'm just amazed how much control he has over his heady mixed voice.
无论我在这里，在哪里，仿佛失魂的虫鸣，却明白此刻应该做些努力。无论我在这里，在哪里，都能弥补的过去。每当想起，
I love the dramatic stop here.
想过离开，以这种方式存在，是因为那些旁白，那些姿态，那些伤害。
Oh my god, he uses so many vocal colors here, and he has so much control over it. For example, let's go back to here.
想过离开。
That Li Kai is very angelic and very heady, mostly head voice, and there's no sharp edges. There's no sharp edges around his voice, and it's just very round, very open, very warm and beautiful. And it's very interesting because he's singing 想过离开. I'm thinking about leaving. 离开 means leaving, means probably killing, not himself, but the person he's describing in this song. The person wants to quit, wants to maybe leave this world, but he's singing with such warmth in his voice. It's as if no matter how depressed you're feeling, his voice is gonna wrap you into a very warm and cozy blanket and let you know that you're not alone. And that's super, super, super beautiful.
方式存在，是因为那些旁白，那些
That ooh in the harmony, which is made by himself, I really like it.
姿态，那些伤害，不想离开。
I'm just amazed by how many colors he's using.
是存在，想过离开。
Very heady and no sharp edges, not a lot of chest participation.
以这种方式存在，是因为那些旁白，那些姿态，那些伤害。
那些, and his voice goes from this to this to this. I mean, the amount of emotion and the amount of belt he puts in his voice, it's so beautifully orchestrated and put us listeners onto this beautiful emotional ride with him. See, 那些旁白，那些姿态。 Basically, he's describing the people around him, how they talk about him, how they react toward him, behave toward him, and eventually 那些伤害, how they hurt him. So a very beautiful emotional ride with very well written lyrics that's almost like a poem. Yeah.
不想离开，当
for hitting the microphone, but I'm getting goosebumps from his voice. He reminds me of Maria Callas. I mean, not the way he sings. Obviously, they're singing different genres, but he and Maria are singing with their souls. And that is the similarity I'm feeling here. They're singing with their souls, and there are so much fireworks and changing of colors going on in their voice, as if their voice is controlled by a ghost, or ghost, is that even the right word? But as if their voice is controlled by something divine, if that makes sense. And as listeners, there's nothing we could do but just stay in awe and listening to their voice and feeling transcended or something. That's the similarity I'm feeling between him and Maria Callas. Okay, I'm a classical lover too, so please don't be too harsh on me, but that's honestly what I'm feeling. And I guess some people just call this genius or talent, you know? Singing skills can be acquired through training. I believe everybody can sing to some extent, if not very well, but the amount of soul you put into the song is really dependent on how open you are with your emotions and how open you are with the audience, and so many more other unknown factors that's related to your being and your personal experience. That's the magic that we couldn't explain, and that's, I think, a lot of people call the X factor or the real talent. And at the same time, I believe everybody has this too, but we have to be emotionally honest and vulnerable with ourselves. Okay, I'm talking too much. Let's go back to his singing, his beautiful, beautiful singing. Look at all those reactions. It's as if they're saying, oh, I get it, I get this.
夕阳西下，泛着电话，无人拨打，是习惯过度的，我该得到的吧。
He's doing one thing, crescendo, in a very short phrase.
是习惯过度的，我该得到的吧。
Crescendo and decrescendo is an advanced technique in singing. In Italian classical singing, it is called messa di voce. I'm really impressed.
跺脚丫，把谁推下才算赢家？无声的反抗，何时能战胜它？
And again, we go back to the vocal colors. 无声的 he's singing in that angelic heady mix again because it means silently. So silently, he's really going soft.
无声的
And heady.
无声的反抗。
反抗. He's twisting the way he pronounces the word in a way that is struggling, which is what this word 反抗 means. Every word he puts in so many colors, so many thoughts. It's as if this is not a pop song and this is not a pop star. This is pure art. This is pure art which is done so naturally. I don't know how many times he rehearsed this. I think maybe many times, but still he has this raw, natural, emotional connection with the words he is singing, so a lot of people can carefully plan out how to sing each word: strong, soft, breathy, non-breathy, vibrato, non-vibrato, and then they become a machine executing those colors perfectly. He's definitely not doing this here, and I'm just so amazed. Oh my god.
想离开，也许尝试过被爱，会开始遥望未来，伤疤。
12 beats of singing, no breath taken between, with belting. And look at his face. Like, that's how I'm feeling too. He's so good at singing. almost crying here because, to be honest, this is not the first time I hear him singing this song. First time I cried so much during midnight listening to him singing this, but this time I still want to cry. It's just, I don't know. He is so sincere here. It's so hard not to be touched. And what he is singing here means, oh my god, look at his facial expression. He's really into the character, really into this song. It means 放下 means let go. Only if you let go can you get better things in your life. Basically, he's singing like this, and I would love to point out how his tongue is shaped here. It is for the maximum amount of resonance inside his mouth to increase the fullness of his voice. A lot of people confuse singing with a full voice with singing loudly. They're different. You can sing loudly, you can belt with a very thin and squeezed voice because you do not allow your inner chambers to be open. You do not allow the resonance inside yourself. And here, what he's doing is opening up the inner chamber of his mouth and shaping it into something almost like an instrument that can deliver a very full and resonant sound. A lot of people, they try to use tools such as a chopstick or a fork and something to force their tongue down and to get this U shape, this dent, but I don't really recommend it. And with time, you will get this because with time, you are exploring how your voice is functioning optimally, and you're definitely going to get there. So don't rush. We can appreciate how well he is shaping his mouth and his tongue, but we don't need to rush to get there. We don't need to get there tomorrow. We just keep singing, and definitely if we explore, if we allow ourselves to be open to how our voices can be, we'll definitely get there. Let's go. And we can get better things. And don't be afraid. Honestly, that's the part that made me want to cry. 别怕, 别怕. He's so sincere. And I guess even if as grown-ups we have moments in our lives, we're just feeling like things are not going to be okay. People say things are going to be okay. Things are not going to be okay. We scream this inside our mind. And because we're grown-ups, we can't make a scene. We can't really drag our friends or family and tell them, hey, things are not going to be okay. I'm a mess. I'm a dramatic mess. We cannot do that anymore. And sometimes we just stuff it down inside us. It's still there. The desperation, the hopelessness is still there. We just don't show. And here, when he sings 别怕, don't be afraid, it's as if that hopeless and desperate part of us is finally touched again by his voice. And I have so much respect for him. I always have a lot of respect for singers. They let their soul speak and heal the world. Hopefully, they're not only singing for money. And I believe most of the singers, they're not singing for money. I believe most of them choose singing because it's their soul's calling. Let's go back to his singing once again.
想过离开，当阳光带给阴霾，没想到你会拼命为我拨开。
And here, he is using that almost crying sound, at the same time, not cracking, and with perfect executed pitch and pronunciation. I would say this is really elegant, because singing with emotion is not the same as just letting your emotions out and throw it to the audience. It's different. Here he is containing his emotions and still being elegant and beautiful in his character. So that leaves us as audiences at ease. We don't have to feel like, oh my God, he can't even contain himself. He's really going crazy. What are we going to do right now? We don't have to worry about that. He's elegant. He's, I would say, perfect in this song. Look at his facial expressions. Look at how big his mouth is. I love it. I love it for this shouting kind of singing. Believe it or not, you have to train yourself to be able to let your jaw drop that big without tensing your jaw, if that makes sense. He is opening his mouth so big without letting the muscles pulling and locking his jaw up. You can see his jaw is relatively relaxed. That's a pretty relaxed shout, belting. One evidence is the vibrato in the end. If his belting is so tense, then there won't be vibrato in the end. The lyrics is literally saying that because you are smiling to me, I don't want to leave this world anymore. And apparently you can see he is smiling a little bit too. The audience is obviously riding with the emotion of the song, and I am too. And he is singing that the world is suddenly filled with colors. 色彩 means colors, and the harmonics of his voice literally makes me see colors in his voice. And people start to cry. I can relate. This is so touching. The same lyrics as the beginning.
夕阳西下，接通电话，是你呀。
Different ending because the start was me sitting on the sofa all alone. There's nobody I could call. And here the lyrics is saying, I'm here alone on the sofa, but when I pick up the call, it's you. It's so healing because the same scene has ended in a different way. That's, I guess, such a good way to inject hope into a hopeless situation. And I can feel a lot of healing in this song. And I really, really love it. So I hope you liked this episode of reviewing and reacting to Hua Hua. And if you have any comments and thoughts, please let me know. Or if there's any singer you want me to review next, please let me know too. And thank you so much for watching. I hope I could see you in the next video. And before that, take care.